Let's talk about your digital identity. You use it every single day to prove who you are online, from unlocking your phone to logging into your bank. But here's the thing. The way we've been doing it for decades, it's about to become totally obsolete. So we're going to break down the entire evolution of digital identity, from the passwords we all hate, all the way to the quantum-resistant tech of tomorrow. Okay, let's get into it. So think about it for a second. How many passwords have you already typed in today? I'm guessing at least one, maybe for email, maybe for work. You know, it's become such a normal part of our lives we don't even think about it. But what if I told you all that typing isn't just annoying, it's actually making you less secure? Yeah, the actual numbers are kind of shocking. On average, about 4 times a day. And look, I know 4 doesn't sound like a huge number, but it adds up fast. We're talking over 1,400 passwords a year. It's this constant little headache, and more importantly, it's a massive security risk. But the good news is there is a much, much better way. Let's look at how we can fix this problem, like right now. For years, we've all been told the same thing. Use a long, complicated password, right? But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if the future of logging in isn't about something you know, but something you have? Well, that's the whole promise behind a new technology called passkeys. And trust me, it's about to change everything. Okay, so think of it this way. A passkey is basically a matched set, a digital lock and a digital key. The website you're visiting gets the public lock, but the private key, that stays with you, stored safely on your phone or your computer. So when you go to log in, your device just uses its private key to open the public lock. The website sees it's been unlocked, but, and this is the important part, they never, ever see your key. It's a really smart, simple solution that is worlds more secure than any password.
And this is where you can really see the difference. Look, with old-school passwords, you're just a sitting duck for phishing attacks and data breaches. With passkeys, you're pretty much immune to that stuff. And for usability, it's not even a contest. Instead of trying to remember and type out some crazy password, you just use your fingerprint or your face to log in. It is a total win-win. Better security, and it's easier to use.
And this isn't just about making your life easier. For businesses, this is a huge deal. An 81% drop in login-related help desk calls, that takes a ton of money and lets the IT folks focus on things that actually matter. It's a no-brainer. But here's the thing. Fixing today's password problem is really just the beginning, because the world of digital identity is about to get way more complicated.
Okay, so we're on our way to solving the password mess. Fantastic. But what about the threats that are just over the horizon? Because as technology gets more powerful, so do the people trying to break it. And in this next part, we're going to look at a new kind of threat, one that's so powerful it could rewrite the rules of security as we know them.
The threat I'm talking about? It's quantum computing. Now, I know it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but the reality is, quantum computers are becoming more powerful every single day. And once they hit a certain threshold, they'll be able to crack the encryption we rely on to protect literally everything. We're talking bank accounts, medical records, government secrets, all of it could be at risk.
This right here, this is the terrifying strategy that hackers are using today. It's called harvest now, decrypt later, and it's as scary as it sounds. They are stealing massive amounts of encrypted data right now, and they're just storing it. They know they can't break into it with today's computers, but they're betting that in a few years a quantum computer will be able to. It's a chilling thought, and it means that any sensitive data that needs to stay secret for a long time is already in danger.
So as you can imagine, the race is on to create new kinds of encryption that can stand up to a quantum attack. It's called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC, and it's a completely new way of building secure systems. These new algorithms are being designed to be so mathematically complex that not even a powerful quantum computer could break them. It's absolutely essential for future-proofing our digital world. And there are some industries that really need to be paying attention to this immediately. Think about financial services. That data needs to be secure for decades. Or healthcare, with incredibly sensitive patient records. And of course, government and defense. For any organization like these, the time to start planning for a post-quantum world isn't tomorrow, it's right now.
But here's the tricky part. We don't know for sure which PQC algorithms will become the final standard. The science is still evolving. So the key to navigating this is something called cryptographic agility. Basically, you need to build your systems to be modular. You want to be able to swap out old encryption for new encryption easily as the standards get better, without having to tear down your entire system and start over. It's a huge challenge, but it's the only way to stay ahead.
All right, so we've talked about the problems of today and the looming threats of tomorrow. But what about the next frontier?
Now we're going to look at a technology so powerful it could fundamentally change how we work and live. I am talking about agentic AI, autonomous AI agents. So here's a quick example of what an AI security agent could do. First, it's always watching, and it spots something weird, say a login from a totally new location. Immediately, it triggers a response. Maybe that means it requires a second form of authentication, or maybe it just rotates the credentials on the spot. And finally, it logs the entire incident for review. It's an incredibly powerful way to automate security and respond to threats in real time.
Okay, but this is where the conversation gets really deep. If an AI can act on our behalf, if it's an agent, then it needs its own identity, right? Just like a human employee, we need a way to know who it is, what it's allowed to access, and what actions it's responsible for. This is a massive philosophical and technical challenge, and honestly, we're just starting to figure it out.
And if you want to understand the scale of this problem, look at this number. In some companies today, there are already 80 machine identities for every single human one. 80 to 1. And that ratio is only going to explode. We are creating an entirely new class of digital workers. And we have to figure out how to manage their identities.
Because if we don't get this right, the risks are enormous. You could have an AI with way too much power, making decisions we can't control or even understand. Or what if an AI agent gets hacked and its powerful credentials are used to launch an attack? We're talking about a massively expanded attack surface. These are the stakes, and it's why getting AI governance right from the very beginning is so critical.
So wow, we have covered a ton of ground. From the password we use every day to the complex identities of AI agents, digital identity is evolving at a wild pace. So how do we possibly keep up with all of this? How do we build a future we can trust? Well, the answer comes down to one thing that helps us navigate all this complexity: a common set of standards.
And this is where organizations called standards bodies are absolutely essential. They're the ones pushing for PQC-ready standards so we can prepare for the quantum threat. They're the ones making sure that all these different systems can actually talk to each other securely. They help train people and make it easier to adopt all this new tech. Frankly, without these groups, we'd just be in a digital Wild West, with no common rules and no way to trust each other online. So if there is one single thing I want you to take away from all of this, it's this. Identity is not just another IT detail. It's not a feature. It is foundational infrastructure. It's the bedrock that our entire digital world is built on. And just like our roads and bridges, it needs to be invested in, it needs to be managed, and it needs to be protected with that same level of seriousness.
The future of identity isn't coming. It's already here. It's more complex, it's more powerful, and it's more important than it has ever been before. So the only question left is, your digital identity is evolving? Is your strategy? Thanks for joining me.